not gonna speak too loud because, one, I just woke up from a nap. Yes, it's like 5 p.m. I got home at like noon. I had a 5-hour nap. And it wasn't good because it was literally in the middle of the day. Not that I am not going to be able to go to sleep, but the fact that it was literally in the whole time chunk of when I should have ate and I didn't. Like, where I was heading, I was going to church this morning and I didn't eat before I went. So I was like, oh, I'll eat when I get home. I ended up passing out. Not like fainting, but like falling asleep because I was having a lot of trouble sleeping the night before. It was just, it's a hot mess. Like, I went to bed on time yesterday, but I was just tossing and turning and having a hard time falling asleep. Like, as much as I tried to quiet my mind, it wouldn't shut up. And I honestly don't even, because I did some like memo typing that I want to transfer and like really reflect on more while journaling. So I put in my phone memo and I was like, okay, that's cool, it's filtered out, I should be able to go to bed. No. And I tossed and turned and I really didn't go to sleep till like 5. And I had to wake up at 7. So obviously when I got home I was exhausted and I took a nap, longer than usual. My point is, I also, like, I wanted to change it to my onesie to be cozy, but like it's in a place where I don't have that amount of energy to put in the effort to go get it. And also, I like do not have the energy to cook right now, but I know I need to eat. I've been drinking lots of water the times that I've been awake. I think I'm gonna make me some dino nuggies. Yeah, that's something pretty quick and something I want to eat. Or I can make myself a burrito. An egg mushroom cheese burrito. Maybe an egg mushroom cheese burrito, small or medium, and a side of chicken nuggies. That sounds good. Oh my gosh. And this is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And I haven't really said anything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be long. There's just so many thoughts and just things that I've been sitting on that I haven't necessarily been able to put in my phone memo. There's so many things I wanted to say. I have a pounding migraine, like in this specific spot, just like right here. Now it's traveled to right here, just right here. It's very concentrated. And it was probably the way I was sleeping when I took a nap. I just feel, But, what was I gonna say? Some of the things I've been sitting on. Oh, before that, the whole reason I wanted to change into my onesie too is because I was having such a hard time sleeping, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a self-care day tomorrow, like a full self-care day where like it's just nothing. Like, I was gonna make my bed all cozy and like set it up with like a mini desk, like a bed desk, so that I can journal, and I'll like light my candle, light incense, and have some tea and put on some good music. I'll talk about it more, but like I finally, like, BTS's new album the B album, it just dropped and I wish I could have caught my reaction like for my first listen. They never fail to blow my mind, and that's a whole nother conversation. I'm trying also not to move my head so much, but I can't help it. I was gonna listen to that because I have a very specific playlist for when I want to be all cozy and comfy and chill and journal, you know, set the mood, set the atmosphere. I was gonna do all that and I couldn't. But you know what? Plans fall through sometimes, and plans to plan fall through sometimes, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. I'll just do it tomorrow. At least it's a self-care thing. So we're gonna wake up tomorrow, we're gonna jump in our onesies, we're gonna, yeah, we're yes, I've been treating you like crap lately, and I'm talking to myself, you know, I've been treating you like crap, at least physically, and I need to give you some love here too. Like, I have not always been giving you your basic needs at the right time. Like, you're surviving, but you don't want to just survive, you want to live. And those are boundaries that I need to set with myself, you know. Hey, I understand that you really want to play that video game, but I will not let you, and I will not tolerate you sacrificing your sleep for that. It will be there tomorrow. I know you want to get that quest done right now, but your health is more important than video game. Yes, there's an event going on, I know, but that's all-nighters are not worth it. Really not. They feel good, but then they catch up to you really quickly. And if sometimes you can get in so deep that you feel like you can't recover from it, and then you low-key turn nocturnal, and like, it took me a long time to get out of that, so we're going to stay off of that. And eating. I understand you fell asleep and you're one person, so you couldn't wake yourself up for sleep. Because the whole reason I fell asleep too is because my phone died. So I'm literally also recording this on my charger. This whole thing's a mess, but like, I just woke up and there's, like I said, there's so many things I've been sitting on, thinking about. I'm like trying, like, my ponytail, even though I have a migraine, I wanted to put my hair up kind of. It's nowhere like tight to my scalp, so it's the best I can do to tie my hair. When I'm gonna cook, I'll pin these back anyways. During my nap, I had a really good dream. I can't talk too much about it right now, but it made me really happy. The basis of it was so simple. I had a crush on this person. I brought them home. We're all hanging out with my family in the living room, and they're like, hey, you wanna like go drive around, like maybe park somewhere and like go sit on like the grass? And I loved it. It felt like, and when I dream with all my senses. Like, I dream as if I'm there. Like, I kind of said this maybe before, but sometimes when I dream, I don't realize that they're dreams because they're so real. And sometimes it's hard for me, or I need to take a second to decipher and remember if it was a dream or if it was a memory. Because also 99% of my dreams are like real life plots, and I already talked about how I act in person and the decisions I make, my thinking process and everything is the same in the dream, which sometimes can get boring because I wish I can be more wild in my dream, but it's not. It's more so of like I'm just transported into another reality, and yeah, dreams are a whole nother video. Kind of losing my voice. That I can talk about dreams for hours, and I hope that I still always love to talk about dreams, and maybe it's like one, like the spiritual side of me, you know, like messages, and like also two, the freaking like symbolism nerd inside that just loves to break down things. Everyone also has their own beliefs about dreams. I'm not gonna get into that. Also, the main thing I was trying to talk about was what I've been sitting on and thinking about. And now it's like almost 12 minutes and I haven't even got to that. So let's talk about that real quick. I kind of mentioned about the deep missing nostalgia that I would get for people and places that I've never experienced or met before. And I typed this on my phone the other day. I was like, something like, I may have never met you, but I miss you dearly, old friend. And it just felt right. This sounds silly. This sounds really silly, but I can like sit in a place, a certain place in nature, or look at a certain picture, I don't know, listen to certain something, and I'm like, yeah, those are like old friends. They feel like old friends. I don't know. Another one was, I was noticing that even though I have grown and started healing and still healing from certain situations in my life, I still have this thing where I abruptly stop whatever I'm doing, or something like whatever I'm doing or saying, when I consciously notice that it is practically mirroring like someone that hurt me. Sorry, if you hear my dad in the back, he's watching football. I don't understand. I understand football, but like I just like the way that I feel like he doesn't understand certain things that I get hyped about. I still love and support my dad. Like, he can like what he enjoys, you know, that's his leisure thing. I just don't, because my dad can get loud. Anyway, I'm digressing. Oh my goodness, it's like 15 minutes. The short videos, like, they last too long. My point is, like, going back to what I was talking about, I would stop abruptly when I noticed that I would be doing something that someone that I used to, I want to say used to know, but like, this person who I realized I was wrong about their intentions and overall my place in their life. People that have hurt me, and it sounds dramatic to say scarred me, but like they are legit people that have given me trauma. Wow, I got goosebumps. So when I notice, and it's like little things, it's like a certain way that I'm tapping the refrigerator when it's open, I would notice and I would be like, no, I don't want to mirror that. Not that that gesture in itself is bad, you know? Or like there's a certain way, a certain kind of foot shuffle across the floor. This is probably gonna end up being a spoken word someday about this, but like a certain foot shuffle across the floor that triggers me, and I notice there are certain ways that I'm sitting, certain ways that I'm walking, certain words that I catch myself about to use, and then I abruptly stop myself from using it. And also that's how I know that, you know, there's still a long way to go for healing. But I didn't start noticing that I did that until maybe a couple months ago. And I guess it's just this thing of like, I don't want to mirror them because I don't want to be like them. And also it's also a big reminder about like what they've done and how they impacted me, and how literally everyone and everything inevitably has some sort of impact on my life. And most of the time I can't control that. So there was that I've been sitting on, and the last thing, because literally this is gonna be almost a half an hour. Hopefully it doesn't get there. I was really thinking about how the phrase "get your priorities straight" is actually deeper, far deeper than it seems, and also it's interpreted differently to different people. And my whole life, sorry, I just remembered there was the perception of time. People have different ways of perceiving time. I have to go research the video, because there's two videos. There's one that I watched a long time ago about like, if you say, oh, like my the meaning is going to be like 2 hours past noon or something like that. I don't know. There's different answers because people like perceive time differently, so they all interpret that differently. I found it super interesting because it's just, the brain is wild, because there's people that don't have inner monologues, there's people that can't like visually picture things in their head, there's people who, there's different types of ways to perceive time. And I brought that up because there's also this is relevant. I recently came across a video explaining that there's people that like think in like their time perception, they think in like the long term versus like short term. So the example that they gave was like, I hate apples, and one person can interpret it as I'm butchering it a lot. He said this way more eloquently, and I'm gonna butcher it, but whatever. I hate apples. Some people interpret that as I have eaten and tried apples over numerous times up until this point, and I do not like them. And also, like, assuming that in the future it's gonna continue like that. You know, like, it's a long-term thing. Like, I hate apples now. I'm gonna hate apples in the future too. It's just so much trial. Why would I like them? And then there's people that are like short-term thinkers that are like, they interpret I hate apples as in like I hate apples now. Like, I have tried apples a numerous of times and I do not like them. But in the future, maybe I'll start liking them. The short-term people are people that they literally can say like I hate apples, and like the very next day you can see them eating an apple. And I didn't realize that. It doesn't surprise me, but that's super cool. And that ties back into what I was saying about the get your priorities straight. Is that I always struggled because, especially the person that would always ask or tell me about it and have a conversation about what are your priorities, what are your plans, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure they're a long-term thinker. So it's kind of like what is here now is going to be there in the future, like predicting future behaviors and all that kind of stuff based on the present and like past trials and stuff, which is logical. Oh, I remember the video was saying that the long-term thinkers, that's more of a logical approach versus the short-term ones are more emotional. Like, they're in the moment, they're like, what is going on now? And it can fluctuate, it can change in the future because and that whole video was on how to communicate better with people with different time perceptions. And that's also why when I was younger it was so hard to have a conversation about stuff like priorities, because I was like, well, the priorities that I'm gonna have now, the things that I like now, the things that I'm passionate about now are this. But if you're asking me what I'm going to want to do for the rest of my life, I can't tell you because that might change. And that put so much stress and pressure on my younger self, because I didn't know that it was normal to think like that, to feel like that. I thought I was crazy. I thought like, oh my gosh, I don't have a handle on myself or my life because I don't have a solid, permanent answer. And you know, the person I would talk to about this and bring it up, they're like, well, it can change in the future, but like, you need to answer now. This is also the same reason why I cannot answer when someone says, what's your favorite movie? What's like your favorite food? Like, oh my gosh, like right now I can tell you these are like the foods that I've been really enjoying lately. But like, when you say my favorite food and that's it, or favorite movie, I'm thinking on a scale of like, okay, overall, even in the future, what would my favorite movie be? And like, it's hard because I'm like, well, that's not necessarily true because I don't know if I'm gonna like this. There's probably gonna be another movie that comes up and knocks it out, and it just feels nice to know that I'm not the only one that thinks like that. There's also this other video where they were talking about how much they're built on contradictions, which is also a whole nother video. But one example is being like the super quiet one, but also being the loudest at a party or loudest in a social I don't know. Anyway, that's also another different video. But going back to the get your priorities straight, I was really sitting on that after having that mind-boggling discovery about time perception and stuff like that. I was really thinking about how even though I'm more comfortable with myself and I have all these interests and wants, and there's just not enough. And I knew this already, but there's not enough days, there's not enough hours in a day or days in a year to get to do everything and like talk to everyone that I want. So then that's when your priorities come in. What are you going to prioritize? Who's going to be in your inner circle? Who is going to get that time? You know, like what are you going to put your time into? What are you going to spend your time on? Because I lost my train of thought. Basically, what you end up prioritizing is what gets your time, and whatever gets your time is going to have some sort of role in shaping who you are. And that goes also into the whole thing about like you are what you surround yourself with. You end up, especially people, like even though we're not able to see people in person as much as we used to, the people that you're around the most, the people that you interact with the most, you're going to end up picking up some traits from them, some mannerisms. And I know that's true because when I start binging something, I pick up mannerisms from them. Anywho, this got really long. I think this is my longest video yet, and I was gonna stop, but nah. The whole point too is like, I don't think there's a lot of people that think this hard about all of this, all like, what are my priorities? Because when someone asks, what are you prioritizing? It's not necessarily just, oh, my education. Okay, well, what in your education? Are you prioritizing this class? What in this class, what are you prioritizing? Like, where are you spending your time? Because time is fleeting, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows. And time, what you do with your time can give you so much, it holds so much potential power because of what you can do with that time. So like, you know, it makes sense, because if you spend all your time playing this one game, you're bound to get better at it. Hopefully, if you're doing it like to practice, in all, like you would become more familiar with the game. And I think that's also why I've seen such an exponential growth of myself, like my inner work, my inner being, is because I've been spending so much time with myself. Lots of realizations in this video. There's so many things that I'm also working on. I'm working on how I'm talking. There's a video I came across too that said to stop calling yourself stupid. Stop saying like, oh, I'm so stupid, I should have known better, oh, I'm so dumb. No. Replace it with something like silly, or be like positively sarcastic, you know? Say something like, oh, that was silly of me, because you're not dumb, you just made a mistake. Oh, I'm so dumb, I spilled that water, I should have seen it. Because then you internalize that, and then your brain is going to start believing that you really are dumb when you're not. Because the brain is a very powerful thing, and that's also why mantras and like affirmations really work. There's this one girl, she did it as a joke. She pretended that she was this hot girl. And she, you know, she really stepped into that character. That's also why method acting can also get really dangerous. Anyway, another conversation. But she ended up, over the course of her being that character, ended up starting to believe that she was beautiful and attractive. And that's just the power of you, what you put in your body, including your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. But that doesn't mean that your thoughts don't have an effect on you. So be kind to yourself. You know, so like if you trip, don't be like, oh, I'm such a freaking klutz, like, I'm an idiot. No, like, say something like, oh my gosh, I'm the most graceful human being on this earth. Obviously, I'm sarcastic, and most people don't pick up on my sarcasm, but it's also because I can say it with a very straight face, and I don't use a very exaggerated, like, no, most of the time. But I digress. I say that. I feel like I should put that on a t-shirt. I digress. If I ever had merch, it would be like a babbling bubble. I woke up feeling like crap, but drinking water and talking everything out, it was probably just a lot that was pent up in here that I really needed to talk out, so I really needed this. I can't believe this is 31. It's probably gonna be like 35 minutes. But, it feels really good. And stop apologizing. Stop apologizing for having emotions and for being yourself. I'm so sorry if you have been around people that have made you feel so small and made you think that it's wrong and unnatural to be you. Like, I know consciously that I talk a lot, and once I start babbling, I can go on for hours. That's literally why I had this like epiphany, not epiphany, but like low-key realization that I probably kin Midoriya somehow, because when he goes on like babbling tangents and the people are like, ah, you're doing it again. But I just get so caught up in the swirl of thoughts, and I'm so like, if you're that person where someone is passionately talking about something, or passionately, they're just excited about something, and you say something and you are responsible for them quieting down, for them not talking about their dreams as passionately as they used to, or in general just stop talking about them. If you are the reason for dimming someone's light, I will personally hunt you down. I will cut you. Don't be that person. And it is a common thing. Like, yes, the whole point was, yes, I know that I babble a lot, but am I going to surround myself with people that constantly tell me, shut up? I don't even want to say stuff like that, because it honestly, it can be triggering. But saying like, you talk too much, like no one cares, just try to speak better, put your words together better. Well, the way my brain works is it's moving at like Mach 7, Mach 9, and there's just so much that I want to get out, and it, like, small funnel here, big stuff here. It's like trying to get a waterfall through like a small funnel that's meant for like a water bottle. I don't know. Don't apologize for being sad, for crying. Never apologize for crying. Don't bottle that up. don't apologize for speaking about things that you're passionate about because you think that the other person wouldn't find it interesting. Well, that's their opinion, but you can still enjoy it fully. You don't have to dial your interests and passion about stuff down because you don't think that's gonna be accepted by others, because who cares? Who cares? It took me a long time to be okay and sit with the fact that I might be the only person that finds this cool around me, you know? And becoming more comfortable with myself has really helped with that. Certain outfits that I wear constantly. There's this person that would be like, why do you wear your shirts like that? Like, you need to stop wearing it. It looks weird that way. And then I'm just like, to you, I think I look cute. I like wearing this. It makes me feel nice. Like, it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel like I can really express myself and I feel beautiful. So I'm not gonna let you ruin my feelings about this outfit because this outfit is fire. And I'm still gonna rock someone's world, my world, at least the only person that honestly I really care about, because I'm not wearing it for anyone else but myself. And if you really have a problem with my outfit, I think that's something that you need to think about. Like, why do you have a problem with my outfit? It's not affecting you or hurting you in any way. You're just uncomfortable with self-expression. Anywho, this is becoming 40 minutes. This is like a whole freaking lecture. It's feeling nice to just go with it. If this happens, okay. If that happens, okay. That doesn't mean there's so many videos I came across, right? There's this other video where it's like when someone asks you, oh, what would you like to eat? And if you immediately respond with, I'm down with whatever you want to eat, really. Before you do that, take a minute to actually think about what you want. Think about it first and then respond. Like, hey, I'm craving this. That would sound really good, because chances are you probably do want something, but you're also probably accustomed to just going with the flow. You can go with the flow, but also have self-trust. And that was what that whole video was about, was taking time to step back and think about what you want. Think about it before you do that like automated sheep answer, you know? Because trust yourself and trust your decisions. Trust your intuition. I learned all too well that I should have trusted my intuition far more than I usually have. And when I really step into that, it's beautiful. But I'm gonna go eat, and it's been 40 minutes. So I'll leave you with this. I hope you're having an amazing, beautiful day, night, wherever you're at. And I love you. Mwah!